Musicians Institute Guitarcraft Program, sponsor of Fox 17 Rock and Review.
Welcome to the Rock and Review. I'm hanging out with Anthony Corder, the lead singer for Tora Tora, a band that has so many great hits and now is back together again.
Man, thank you so much for having me today. Appreciate you.
It's incredible. So you guys are playing tonight at Mercy Lounge.
Tonight at Mercy Lounge, we're thrilled to be part of the RocknPod Expo. We're doing the pre-party. It'll be Ron Kill, Greg Mangus, All Stars, Tora Tora, and Angel. Doors at 6, show starts at 7. We should be hitting the stage around 9 o'clock. So we're totally pumped, man. We can't wait. It's been a minute. We played back in 2016 was the last time we played Nashville, so we're looking forward to getting back and seeing a bunch of friends here.
Well, you know, it's so cool, too. You and I were talking before we came down to the studio on Anthony, to where, you guys, formed in 1985, a Memphis-based band. And so the name of the band, instead of Tora Tora, was Almost Free Beer.
Yeah. It was funny. We were trying to figure out a way to get people to come out to see us. We didn't have very much experience playing out live, and we thought that would attract some people. But
that would,
we had a friend of ours that we went to high school with, a girl named Kelly Coffey, that had made a list of band names, and Tora Tora happened to be on there, and it was named after the Van Halen Women and Children First.
Right.
There's a little 30-second intro. But we saw it and we said, hey man, it's a great idea. And the first venue that we played, we had some people show up from our 4 guys in the band. 2 of us went to one high school and 2 of us went to another one. And so we kind of had a built-in audience right away.
Right.
And before we came on stage, they had a chant, Tora, Tora. And then we went, that actually might work. This may be okay. We had like a little group of people at a Amro Jam night or a little music event. And so we just hung on to it. We stayed with it.
That is so amazing. And you've been here in Nashville since 2005.
2005, man. I made the leap.
And I think it's an incredible testament, too. Besides the incredible stuff you're doing with the RocknPod Expo this weekend, you got the show tonight. You guys are going to be, on the floor tomorrow at the Nashville Palace.
We can't
with all
wait
these
for
other,
this.
You got Korn, you got all these guys
from Winger.
There'll
be a bunch of people there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It was a huge success last year. There was a lot of attendance, a lot of podcast people there. Just bringing the community together is what it's about.
And Chris and the team do such a great job with this also, and he and I are buddies, and so it's like, man, it brings together so many of my favorite bands that I grew up with.
That's the way we feel.
And that you guys are still doing it. And in fact, Tora Tora, you've been down in Memphis recording audio tracks, and you're going to have a new album coming out in 2019.
We are. We're working with Jeff Powell. We're down at Sam Phillips Studio in Memphis, which is a historical place. It's wild. It looks like a museum on the inside. I'm not kidding. It hadn't changed since the 60s. It's got red shag carpet. It's just beautiful. The vibe, everybody from Bob Dylan to Roy Orbison, everybody. The list, it goes on and on of all the people that's been there. So just to be a part of that heritage, and the guy producing, Jeff Powell, has been a friend of ours for 25 years. He was an assistant engineer on our, some of our projects before with A&M.
And when he reached out to you, this was going to start out, Anthony, as only 1 or 2 tracks.
Right. Yeah.
And then you and the band are going, yeah, we're actually thinking about a whole project.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. We had been talking for a while about doing some recording, and he reached out. We had done a benefit for our bass player. He had a health issue, and we were raising money for some of his medical costs.
Wow.
And Jeff was there, and he said, man, I saw you guys, and you just sound like Tora Tora, and I just want to do a recording. And we said, you're never going to believe this. We're thinking about doing a full project, and we'd love to do it with you. So
wow.
It's been about a year in the making, just getting our logistics together and schedules. We're all family guys,
right.
And rock and roll dads kind of. And but it's been an amazing experience. We did the basic tracks in one weekend. We just went in and knocked all that out, and then I went and sang the vocals the next weekend. It's been incredible.
And you got to hang out in Sam Phillips' office.
Yeah.
With how...
We got to look around for a second.
That's crazy.
It was pretty amazing. The vibes there, it's just, I don't know, there's something about Memphis, the scene there. I love Nashville, of course. I'm here, I'm a transplant, but there's something about going home. It's good to get a little bit on you every once in a while.
Well, now I want to make sure and mention to our viewers too, Anthony, where's the best place for them to find everything about Tora Tora, with web and social media and everything?
We'd love for you to look us up on Facebook. You can find us there at Tora Tora, and go to Tora Tora Music, our website. You can go there for all the information about our shows, the upcoming events that we're doing, and our music. So we'd love to have you. You guys come see us.
Well, but besides the whole, RocknPod Expo and everything else you got going, one of the things that really impresses me with you, Anthony, is how you also, went back and got your college degree. You got all this education, after you took a break from the music, took a break to raise your family.
Yeah.
And so you teach, and so you've taught at Belmont,
Yeah.
and you're teaching at SAE now.
SAE Institute, I am.
And you're sharing your knowledge of being in the music biz and everything with students, with people that, are looking for that knowledge.
It was a wild experience, man. I actually left high school to join, I walked in, my family's Southern Baptist, I walked in and told them I was running away with a heavy metal band. So
and that went over
pretty,
well.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. But no, seriously, I had like some great mentors in my life. A guy named John Fry that ran Ardent Studios was a father figure to our band. For every decision I ever made in my life since I was 16, I would call him and talk to him. We lost him about 3 years ago. But he had a huge impact on my life. And another guy was a guy named Richard Sanders that was our first manager. He ended up running labels. He ran RCA in New York, and he was the reason that I moved to Nashville, man. I had known him for 15 years and kind of talked to him about settling in Nashville, and he presented an opportunity for me to come and work with the record labels. But I think they kind of ingrained this pass it on mentality in me. We had stayed in touch for a long time and had kind of long relationships, knowing each other for a long time, and they kind of guided me along my path, and I kind of wanted to do that for somebody else. So the teaching thing was pretty wild. The first time I walked into a classroom, man, I'd played venues that needed to be like the Blues Brothers, that needed like chicken wire up, but my knees had never knocked that hard. As I walked in, and there was a bunch of kids with their eyes about this big around that said, "We want to be in the music business." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are going to do this, man. You're really going to do." But I get excited. I think we've, had to get acclimated to all the changes going through the digital realm and all that kind of stuff, and we see all the potential with them. It's just kind of ingrained in them, and the access that they have to information, audience, and all that kind of stuff it's incredible. So I'm super excited for them.
But I think it's so great that you're able to share this with the students here and to give them actually working knowledge. Because, as a teenager, you lead singer and everything else, and with Tora Tora and all the things you've done with labels and everything.
Yeah.
And to be able to impart that to them, because I think sometimes they don't get that working knowledge.
Yeah. Well, I'm a believer in getting your hands dirty. I've looked at the classroom as kind of an opportunity for them to just be at work. I'm like, hey man, I want you to come in here. This is about sharing knowledge with your peers, coming in and being a group together. And it's amazing. They have great ideas. They've got incredible potential ahead of them, and they share little nuggets that help each other in their conversations and stuff in the classroom. So it's an exciting time in the music business, man. It's really exciting.
Well, and I think it's exciting for your students as well, that when they come in and they're like going, okay, this guy's done it.
Yeah.
It's not like he, nothing knocking, having a great education, but sometimes I think also having the education of experience.
Yeah, and it's fun. And that's one thing that's great about the teachers at our school is we're all still ingrained in it outside of classroom. We're bringing in those activities and stuff and talking to them about what's going on. So.
Well, and now, it's like the Blues Brothers, like we were talking, you're putting the band back together.
Yeah, it's funny, man. We've stayed together. We've never really had any kind of like big blowout. We've been friends for 30 years. I mean, we're still telling the same terrible jokes to each other. And we just, I was telling you earlier, we don't take it for granted that we get to spend time together. We all kind of took a break to raise families, and everybody had their own, kind of agendas that were going on. But we were always family. I mean, we went through an experience together that was like being in a movie. I mean, Keith and I started out, we were mowing grass. My mom was a real estate agent in Memphis, and so we'd mow her properties, and he bought a pickup to carry his equipment in, and we said, hey, we'll throw the lawnmowers in there and cruise around and make some money. We were little, And but we were sitting around talking. We were like, wouldn't it be crazy if we could get in the studio and record some songs? And then we started recording some songs, and we were like, man, wouldn't it be wild if a record label actually came and saw us play? And
wow,
these things kind of just had happened. And when it did finally, when we signed and everything, we had never traveled or anything outside of Memphis. We were just a local band, and the A&R guy flew to Memphis, and he said, I'm going to ride in this 15-passenger van with you to New York City because I just want to see your face the first time you see the lights. And we drove like straight through 20 hours or whatever it was to see it. I mean, we were so excited, and it was just a great experience, man. And you think about all these things that we went through together, the highs and the lows, the peaks and the valleys, and even now as we've grown older, the just life things that are going on with you. We've had a long relationship with each other. And so when we get in the room together, I close my eyes and the amp comes on, and it's like, oh my God, this is Keith. I'm 18 years old, and I smell still beer and cigarettes. But all of a sudden, we realize we're like, man, we've got some history behind us, and it feels good. It sounds like us. When we
it's like in all the things you've got going, being a father, husband, professor, lead singer for a band. It's like you're juggling a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, it's fun though. I'm enjoying it. I'm really happy. We kind of laughed about this before when we were talking. Is that just having that outlet, just being able to be creative, that never goes away. I still love it as much as I did the very first time I sat down and started strumming on the side of my bed, going, I wonder what this song is going to be. I think about that, and I think about it when I'm talking to the people that are getting ready to go into it. I kind of selfishly think, I think about the way that I felt back then. I was like, man, I remember being this passionate about it, and that just fuels you. You get excited and thinking about it. I love it, man. It's really
amazing.
exciting.
Well, be sure and catch a Tora Tora tonight at the Mercy Lounge, but also, this weekend is the Rock and Pod Expo. New album coming out 2019.
Yeah.
And once again, if you're looking for some music education, Professor Corder can also bring that to you, right?
Right. Okay, and a little hashtag Bob. It's a little clue to you guys out there for what's coming up on the new record. So
there we go. Anthony Corder from Tora Tora. Be sure and catch him. We can't wait to hear the new music. And
thank you.
It's going to be a great Rockin' Pod Expo weekend.
It sure will. You guys come see us, man. Thank you again.
Yeah,
Appreciate
my pleasure. Thanks for watching the Rockin' Review.
Musicians Institute Guitarcraft Program, sponsor of Fox 17 Rock and Review.